Alrighty. Ooh, I think that mic's a little hot. Let's turn that down a little bit. Ooh, that was like way in the red. Alright, that might be a little better. Alright, so today, yes, as the intro screen did say, we're going to install Debian 12, as they call it, Bookworm, as in their naming conventions. And then we're going to install, or we're going to build some install packages for OBS Studio, the latest release candidate, and the latest stable version. And I'm doing that for two reasons, because if you're new to Linux and Git and this whole thing, when you first go to the OBS website, and if you follow their instructions for installing OBS Studio, you're going to, if you're new to all this, you're going to think you're going to get the latest stable version. And if you follow the instructions, you end up with the latest release candidate for the next version. So you end up with the RC1 currently, which is version 30.0.0.0.4, I think it is, or something like that. But anyway, so that's why we're going to do a run through really quick of building install packages for the release candidate, and then also the current stable version 29.1.3. Oh, let me get the right browser up here. I didn't have that up. What am I thinking? Not that one, not that one, not that one. This one? Oops, not that one. Not that one. Yeah, I'm doing good here, aren't I, so far? All right, we'll just launch one right here. And we're going to bring this guy over here. All right, let's get us onto the right screen here. Transition. All right, here we go. And that's not really where I want to be either, but that's okay. We can run through this really quick before I start the install process really quick. As I say, here's the OBS Studios website here, and if you go into the download directory, you're going to see that you can actually install from a flat pack, which you can do, and you can get the latest version that way really easy. I don't care for flat packs or snaps. I understand the concept that they put you in a sandbox container with each app, which has its own benefits. But what I found is flat packs broke functionality between applications that I kind of rely on. For instance, if you install FileZilla and you're used to just right-clicking on a file in the remote server and hitting edit and having that file open up in VS Code, so you can just edit it and save it and ship it right back over there really easily. Those kind of interactions break when you use flat packs. And supposedly you can use, oh, what was it? There's a tool that you're supposed to be able to use to be able to allow the interaction between whatever's in a sandbox and other apps. Did not work. Not for me anyway. I like the good old install from the package manager. So I used the app install on a regular basis. And when you look here, if you actually go to the repository right now for Debian, if you've got the latest Debian involved and you try to install using apt, the apt program, you will not get the latest version 29.1.3. You're going to end up back on version 25. And the issue there is none of the plugins work for you then. Most of the plugins are wanting version 28 or 29 of OBS Studio installed. So if you just do an apt install OBS Studio, you're going to get a version that OBS is, packaged up and sent, not OBS, pardon me, that Debian is packaged up and, has provided in their, in their source for you to install. But yeah, it's a few versions behind. And you're not going to be able to install any of the extra plugins or anything. It works, it functions, it does everything you want it to do, but if you're looking for some of the latest plugins to install, you're not going to be able to do that if you just directly install using apt and the package source that Debian is providing at this time. I have Debian 11 on this desktop that I'm working on right now, and I did try to run through these install the build instructions here, but one of the required packages is missing in Debian 11, and I couldn't find any backports or anything for it. So if you go into the build instructions and you look through them, you'll see there's a couple items that, you know, are prerequisites for the installation, and I think it's this little guy right here, this libfbdx-acc.dev. Couldn't find it anywhere. Couldn't find it in a backport to be able to get it onto my Debian 11 desktop, but it is included in the Debian 12 packages. So there's nothing broken trying to install install OBS Studio on Debian 12, but I did have an issue trying to build it and install it on Debian 11. As I say, that one package was missing. Wasn't able to locate it. I spent some time on it, but I had to get back to some other things. And I decided I wanted to go with 12 on my desktop anyway, so anyway, if you go to the Debian website, you can download all their install stuff. Let's see. Debian.org. So what I'm using is oh, I didn't want that. Well, that's the same thing I have anyway. Oh, this actually not. That's one version a little bit newer there, but that's okay. We'll get it anyway. So that's going to download the Debian 12.2.0 for the 64-bit, and it's the net install. And what the net install means is it's just a small package that's put onto your USB drive. If you're going to boot off USB, or if you have a CD and you're going to do it that way, you know, it's a much smaller file, and then most of the packages, whatever you require, is downloaded during the install process. So I've already got a USB set up with it. There's plenty of instructions on Debian and around on how to make yourself a boot CD or a boot USB drive. If you're already on a Debian desktop, they make it pretty easy already, where you can just, from the command prompt, use your copy command cp, the image file name, and then straight to dev slash and the device name, and it's just going to make the image right on. It's just going to copy it right in to the device. The ISO, it's going to put it on there so that it's ready to go. You don't have to use any, DD anymore or anything like that. So let's get started on this thing. I'll go ahead and get it in this machine here. What did I put on there? Oh, yeah. Once. Oh. So who will benefit from this? Yeah, maybe if you're a power user already of Linux, you may not get much out of this, especially for the installation. If you're new to OBS and you're just trying to get that installed, that's probably gonna be who it's helpful for, or new users to Linux and Debian, and especially if you're new to Git and not sure how to download the right branch of the software. That could be useful for you as well. Okay, let me get the right window up here. That would be... Hey, look at that little guy in the corner there. Yeah, I think that's the one I want. Where's that keyboard? So I'm just using a little, what is this guy? A little Lenovo ThinkCenter machine that I've got around for using this. I've got a little HDMI capture card that's running through that we should be able to capture everything that we're doing as we're doing the install. Yeah, there we go. We're gonna go ahead and lock this guy out of here. Yeah, that's the one we're looking for, right there. Okay. All right, when you first boot up into the USB, you can, if you do the graphical install, of course, you're going to get the full graphical user environment with, I think depending on which desktop manager you use, depends on whether you're going to use Wayland or Xorg in the background. I use the XFCE desktop, so that does put the X server on for us. If you just do this install here, no graphical environment, you'd end up with just a clean install of Debian 11, more for type, kind of a server install or whatnot. You really don't care to have a graphical user environment on. You would pick that install, but we're going to go ahead with the top one here. English, yeah, we're in the States. It's pretty nice at the beginning there. You can pretty much just hammer through on enter on those because it comes up with a pretty good set of defaults for you. All right, let's see here. Get going. Do. It might help if I transition the screen over so you can actually see what I'm talking about here. So, here, let's restart this guy. Come on, restart. You can restart for me. Yeah, I didn't realize I didn't bring the screen up for you. Oh, come on. Well, yeah, actually, I can probably just go back. Back. There we go. Alrighty, here we go. So that was a nice fail. So yeah, get to the right screen. All right, here we go. There it is. All right, fine. Now you get to see what I was actually talking about. Boomer. Alrighty, there we are. So here we are. Top option, graphical install. The second option is without the graphical user environment. So basically that would be more of a server install there. Here, more of your desktop install. Gives you your GUI, gives you a choice to choose a Windows manager. So let's get into it. Okay, as I was saying, these first couple of screens, when you first get into Debian here, or the Debian install, yeah, you can pretty much hammer through. They kind of default very nicely in your area. Unless you want to choose a different keyboard or whatnot, it's pretty much enter, enter, enter. Hey, Susan. Thank you for letting me know the audio is working well. Nice. Do do do. All right. So now we're going to go ahead and set up one of our Ethernet devices. Just down here is our wireless, of course. As you can see, it says wireless. But yeah, we're going to set up our Ethernet card really quick so that it can download the remainder of the packages we need from the package servers. Okay, we're going to call you OBS demo. Oh, yeah. OBS, yeah. EMO. Nice. And we are going to be at greatflickr.live. Yeah, sure. I like that. So basically that was giving the computer its name, and I just called it OBS demo. And then I have a domain out there that I'm attaching it to. I could have put in just local or whatever for the domain, depending on how I wanted to do things. But okay, let's set ourselves up our root password. Well, I don't like how that ended up like that. Let's redo that. Let's do that one more time. You know what? My numlock is not correct, and I'm using my num keys. That's what's going on here. Alrighty, there we go. Even though it told me my numlock was on, it really wasn't. So that was not nice. So there we go. There's our root user password. And a new user. All right. And yep. And a password for that guy. And we are in Arizona. So we picked our time zone there. We're just going to go ahead and in this portion here, we're setting up our hard drive. I'm just going to go ahead and use the entire hard drive with the top option there. If you like the LVM type model or you want encryption, you can use one of these other two. I normally just use the top one here. That top one is actually the hard drive in the machine. This bottom one is actually the USB drive that I put in and that I booted off of. So we do want to put it on the internal drive, of course. So we will go ahead and make that selection. And then here you can choose if you want to set up the partitions as all in one partition, or if you want to separate them out. Some people like separating the partitions up for putting them on different drives or backing up purposes. There's many reasons why you could change up the partitioning of the machine. But we are just going to use the top option right there, all files in one partition, just to make things easy for us here. On this machine, I'm going to leave all this as it is as well. I normally like a little bit larger of a swap on mine because I can use up a gig of swap really quickly, especially when I get a couple browsers open. And yeah. Oh, that was really nice. I just ripped my headphones out of my ears. That was not good. And okay, that's nothing like breaking the flow of stuff. Whew. Got one of the rubber pieces torn off too. There we go. All right, let's get this back in. My apologies. Not that I'm listening to anything really at the moment, so I guess I really don't need them in, but oh well. They're back. Okay, so yes, we are going to finish partitioning and write the changes to the disk as they are there. And of course, if you've got anything on the drive, whatever you have on there, it's going to be bye-bye once we get done with this. So, you know, but that's okay. This machine is just a little test machine I have anyway. But they made the partitioning and low-level formatting of the hard drive very quick these days. God, I remember sitting and waiting and waiting and waiting for a drive to format before you could even start installing an OS on it. I've gotten much better at those things. Susan, what OBS Studio will allow us to do is to do a lot of things within your stream. Bringing in other screens, you can do transitions between screens. So I don't know if you've seen here, like, let me show you really quick. I think if I click this guy here, boom, that was a pretty quick cut transition right there. We could fade between screens. So like, there's all kinds of little things that it allows you to do. We faded to black and we'll transition back in that other screen. So that's just some like really quick basic things. But there's a lot of things you can do also with integrating your live streams into other apps and into say like your YouTube chat. And one of the things I'm looking at doing is messing with the API for Rumble to see about getting Rumble chat stuff brought into live streams as well. There's all kinds of things though that OBS Studio allows you to do. A lot of people use StreamYard and a lot of things that you're watching today, where people are bringing other individuals in, is basically a StreamYard thing. But a lot of the gamers that you see are using other little apps like OBS Studio for presenting their live stream, presenting the chatters, presenting the super chats, and other information on the screen. It allows you to automate those kind of things. Okay, so back to our install here. So anyway, yeah, let's choose our region. United States, of course, is where mine is. You can choose yours wherever you're at. We're going to choose what repository. I always just leave it at the deb.debian.org for the repository. Some people like to use mirrors. There's plenty of mirror sources out there for getting your packages, but I always just let the package manager stay on the deb.debian.org for receiving packages. I don't use a HTTP proxy, so we'll go on from there. Okay, come on. This is probably coming up to be a part where it's going to take a little bit of time. I should have found some music or something to play during that. That's not going to get me in trouble on YouTube. I might have something I can play. Something that was recorded personally. Doo-doo. So yeah, if you're not familiar with Linux, basically it's at this point in time, it's going out to the repository, pulling down whatever software we will need additionally to do the installation. In a moment here, it's going to ask me for some additional software information, like what desktop manager I want to use, whether or not I want to have like an SSH secure shell server on it. Popularity contest. Yeah, this little guy is, if you want to share information with the project, letting them know what you're running, and your kind of basic setup. It's not supposed to give out personal information, but supposed to give them some basic information about basically what kind of computers people are still using and what packages people are using. I don't participate in it, though. I normally don't. So, no. All right, here we are. I normally don't use the GNOME interface, but I always leave it there just in case I break something else. I do use the XFCE. Actually, I'm not going to put a GNOME on this guy. I'm just going to put XFCE as my desktop environment. Basically, it's the windowing environment, and each one looks a little different. They have some that look like Macs. They have some that look like Windows, and then some that are just, their own little thing. A lot of people like Mate. Some people like Cinnamon. KDE and GNOME are your oldest ones that are out there. What I don't like about well, did they do that on this one? No, that was, never mind. We're not going to go there. So anyway, I'm going to choose XFCE. I like that one, and the reason why I use it the most is it's the easiest for me to configure with 4 monitors. And I really like the way XFCE works with 4 monitors, because they're kind of independent, but they aren't. Here, how could I probably show you that the best? If I click probably on all 4 monitors, boom, here, you'll see all 4 of my monitors. And if I go here, you'll probably see 3 cats and, oh, look, nice tasty buds. So that's just another workspace on my desktop there. So basically, yeah, I have 4 independent monitors, and notice I had 4 different backgrounds on the monitors, but yet the transition of the coloring kind of stayed the same. Yeah. So each of those is a different monitor, but I can control them independently. So I really like the way that the workspaces work on Linux, and then especially with the XFCE desktop environment. As I say, it allows me to set all this up much easier. So let's get back to, where were we? No, we were here, weren't we? Yes, we were right here. Transition. Whee! Okay, back to here. We don't want a web server, but we do want an SSH server. SSH is a secure shell. Basically, it's a command prompt that you can, get to remotely as well. I do a lot of things at an SSH shell. And then standard system utilities. So yeah, we're gonna go with that right there. If you wanted to try out the different Windows environments, you can install them, and then at login time, you can choose which one you want to go into. If that's something that you ever wanted to install it and try it. So let's go here. So yeah, now it's going to go down and pull down what? Yeah, another 1,114 packages and install them. Because of my choices that I made there, that's, I've had to do many, many more when I've chosen all the different or most or a couple of the different Windows environments. I don't know why they call it mate, but they do. Okay, so our next screen we're probably going to want to see is come on, download. What did I do with that terminal? That would be this one? Yes, that one. I'm on the wrong keyboard. That's a problem with having more than one keyboard in front of you. There we go. Okay, got those ready to go for when this guy finishes up. Yeah, let's find some music to play while this thing is going. Let's see. Something that YouTube will not yell at me about. Okay, let's see. If I go over here, I go to my unknown folder. Okay, we're going to cue that right there. Let's up over here. I'm going to bring this up and let's tell this guy to play. This was recorded live at an ayahuasca ceremony.
All around you feel it's never ending. You don't know where to feel which part is the beginning. Truth is, it's all in everything. Everything is beauty. Everything is you. You are everything. All All around you feel it's never ending. You don't know where to feel which part is the beginning. Truth is, it's all in everything. Everything is beauty. Everything is you. You are everything. All around you feel it's never ending. And you don't know where to feel which part is the beginning. Truth is, it's all in everything. Everything is beauty. Everything is you. You are everything. You are everything. You are everything. Everything is beauty. Everything is you. You are everything. All around you feel it's never ending. And you don't know where to feel which part is the beginning. Truth is, it's all in everything. Everything is beauty. Everything is you. You are everything. All around you feel it's never ending. And you don't know where to feel which part is the beginning. Truth is, it's all in everything. Everything is beauty. Everything is you. You are everything. You are everything. You are everything. Everything is beauty. Everything is you. You are everything. Everything is beauty. Everything is you. You are everything. Everything is beauty. Everything is you. You are everything. Everything is beauty. Everything is you. You are everything.
Ooh, I could have gotten in trouble for that next song. Phew, glad I caught that. YouTube would have spanked me. Bad. Okay, let's see. Okay, well, let's continue on. Okay, Grub. Grub is a bootloader. What's a bootloader? Bootloader loads your own operating system, and this bootloader also would allow you to do a dual boot. So if you wanted to put Windows and Linux on the same machine, Grub would do the handling between starting whichever operating system you wanted to at boot time. So yeah, basically it's just what loads the operating system for you. All right, let's get to the right keyboard here before I try and make a choice. And I'm hitting on a board that does me no good. So yes, we want to install the Grub bootloader. It should ask us which drive we want to put it on. And we want to put it here, of course, because the /dev/NVMe is the internal hard drive in the machine, and this other one is my USB boot drive that I'm on right now, or my boot disk for setting up the OS. So yeah, let's choose the NVMe. We'll continue on. Let's see here. Where did that go? A couple others I could play here. Don't know if that one would get me in trouble. Okay, let's finish up here. All right, installation complete. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull my disk out, or not my disk, my USB drive. We're gonna hit enter and let it reboot. Okay. So it should give us a login screen here in a moment. Oh, this is your normal Debian boot screen. So that's the bootloader there you just saw, Grub, coming up. Also, you could have several versions of kernels on your machine. If you had one kernel that you needed for certain hardware or something like that, or you compiled a kernel for a certain reason to work with a piece of hardware. Yeah, I remember those days. God, I had a piece of machine that, yeah, I had to compile the whole thing on, depending on what hardware it was. It was an old DEC Alpha. It was way early on when I was messing with Linux. All right, so right here, we're going to log in as Great Liquor. Put in our password, which is not password or 1234 or anything like that. I use a nice 16 character password. Oh yeah, now I need to plug that little drive or USB dongle back in. All right, so that's just a basic install of Debian 12 with the XFCE Windows Manager on it. There we go. I should be mousing around now. Yeah, I am. And then, yeah, we go over here. We got an application menu. Boop. Got a couple little things already on it. But if we go like under multimedia, you won't just see, you'll see that we don't have any OBS Studio or anything like that in here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to SSH into that box. Because I'll get a better image for you of what we're doing if I capture the SSH session as opposed to what's happening on the HDMI here. So let me bring up, boom, 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 this guy. And get logged in here. I guess I should bring this up for you, shouldn't I? Right here. Now that should be a much better image for you than me doing it from, yeah, because, yeah, I'm still looking at the, there it is. Oh, yeah, that's much better. Woohoo! You wouldn't have liked it otherwise. Okay, so let's do, oh, no. What am I doing over here? Duplicate C. What am I doing over here? No, 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 no. Wrong keyboard. Wrong screen. Okay, here we go. Let's do an apt update. Make sure that we're on the latest packages. Oh, okay. Okay, well, yeah. You have to run update as the root user, not as just a general user. I know that. Derp. Boomer. Okay, so SU is switch user, and if we put nothing else, it takes you to the super user or root user of the machine. That password. Boom. So now, as you can see there, we are root. Oh, do you see my my cursor when I bring it on here? Whee! Yeah, you do. I think so. Okay, yeah. So now you can see we are root. We're up here. We were great liquor at OBS demo. Now we are root at OBS demo. So yeah, now if we do an apt update, it'll tell us if there's any additional packages. But yeah, we shouldn't have had any because we downloaded all the latest packages during the install, so that should be just as is. Now, if we do an apt search OBS, I think it's a hyphen in there, STUDIO, OBS Studio. Huh. Well, look at that. They're now giving you 29.02. Huh. Boy, I just checked that the other day on this. That's funny because when I was at the 12.1, that was giving me OBS 25. But hey, it looks like they're at least giving you OBS 29 here. So I guess you could install right here and get OBS.29.0. You're going to be just a little bit behind because we're actually at a little bit higher of a version there. We're at 29.1.3. So if you wanted the latest version in there, or if you even wanted the latest release candidate, then you could do what we are about to do. Let me get over to, let's see, what are we showing here? That is screen bottom. So yes, that's true. I'm going to pull this away for a minute. We're going to go back to OBS over here. So yep, see, we're at the 29.1.3. And when you look over here, and you get into the GitHub for OBS Studio, you'll see over here, well, we're in the build instructions right here. If we go to the code, you'll see over here on the right-hand side, 29.1.3. There's the latest, right? And when we're back here in the wiki and we're trying to do the install and say we want to do, let's see, which one's this? That's the build instruction. Okay. So when you get over here, if you go to the build instructions, so this is the basic install. If you just want to do just a normal install, and this is the instructions they give you for doing just like a regular install. This is an Ubuntu-based one, but they really don't give you much for a Linux, except for Debian Linux, except for right here. Here's where you get the choices of them, and they're telling you that these are the unofficial Linux builds, which are built by the package maintainers of each of these distributions, and that's why these are normally a little bit behind what the latest version is. So if we go back up here to the build instructions and we click on Linux, you will see that we have build instructions. Now, I think this A section is a little incomplete, but this is your basic Debian builds for here. And when we scroll down, you'll see we've got Fedora, or yeah, here's Red Hat. That was where I first cut my teeth, was Red Hat Linux, before they went to the enterprise versions of Linux. And then when they went to the enterprise versions, I started using the Fedora core. Never cared for the CentOS version, which is kind of built off of Red Hat as well. But for many years, I ran the Fedora core. So these are basically how to do your install for Red Hat. And if we go down here, there's Fedora. So Fedora was the free version of Red Hat. It was basically their development version, and everything that happened in Fedora is what was coming up next in Red Hat for many years. But I ended up going away from it when I started my current business that I'm running, and I needed to be running a Debian version for some other software that I use. So that's kind of where I switched up to Debian at that point in time. So let's go back to the top here. As I say, the Debian instructions here for building your installation packages or just compiling the software and doing an install. This first one, it says it's an automatic build, right? Well, if you go through these procedures right here and you just do this guy right here, you're going to pull down the Git repository, but they're missing an instruction here. And what I noticed is between the version you pull down here, which is actually the release candidate RC1. So if you utilize these instructions here, you are not going to get version 29.1.3. That's why I'm giving you instructions on both of them here, because when you follow these instructions, and there's nothing here telling you that you're going to get the release candidate. To me, I thought I was going to get the latest release version, not the latest release candidate, when I ran these instructions, but was surprised when I fired up the application and had version 30.0.0.4.rc1. I was like, oh, okay. So they're giving you the release candidate. So, you know, you get to be their tester if you don't realize what's going on. If you want the stable version that you know is a stable version, then we have to add a little parameter in here, and I'll show you that here in a minute. So basically, what I notice is in the repository here, say we go to the code in here. When you download the version 29.1.3, this scripts directory is not there, and I don't think the actions is. The workflow directory is there, but the scripts directory and actions is not. And I think these are the scripts that are now, see, build Linux here. And if we look at that guy, that runs this little build ZH, which is just this little file right here, which is what is going to then go down. And so I haven't tested this portion yet to figure out what exactly needs to be added on this little page here. But this instruction right here, I think they started writing it for the version 30 and not the version 2.9. Because if you download 2.9.1.3, those scripts are not in it, in the repository when you download it. They're just not there. So I think somebody also in this little thing forgot to tell us, hey, go into this directory and run one of these scripts and it's going to build everything, because that's what this tells you. This is going to automatically build everything and get you set up. Otherwise, you can do your custom build. Well, we're going to do the custom build. And also we're going to do the custom build so that we get the version 29.1.3. If you look here, you'll notice this git little instruction, git clone recursive, and the GitHub website, and then the project path. That's the exact same thing that we have down here in the custom one as well. All right. So as I say, you know, you do this and you end up having to run the rest of these commands anyway. Well, most of them anyway. Not all. It's pretty easy though. So let's get started on that. All right. So we're going to go ahead and just, yeah, I'm just going to use this one here because they are the same thing. I'm just going to pull it off of this one right here, since I'm going to get just this line here and not the rest of it in here. So I'm just going to copy this guy, copy. And then we'll take a look at these prerequisites here in a second. We'll pull back down our terminal window. And now, if you try to run this from your user directory, it normally fails, or I've had it fail. The proper place to build your source code and install it is, we want to do a CD. We want to switch directories to the USR. Okay, where's my R? SRC directory. So this is where we want to build any of our new stuff. And if we look in here, this is probably going to be empty. Yep, sure is. Now, I'm going to create two directories so that we can keep the two different builds separate from each other really quick in here. So I'm going to make a directory for, we're going to call this one OBS, and I'm just going to make it RC1 because I know this pulls down the RC1 when you just do this command with no other switches or anything. I'm also going to make a directory, and we're going to call this one OBS29. Okay. And then basically what I'm going to do is go back in here and I'm going to run through this one time in both of those directories and build the install. So here, let's thumb through this guy really quick here before we do it. So basically they're telling me we got some prerequisites here, and watch out for this one. The Chromium embedded framework. You do want to download this guy and install it. They're just really not too clear on how to do it. So if you were experimenting for the first time, you'd probably throw an error once you get down to this portion right here, like I did. So right here in part 2, get dependencies, we can just basically copy each of these commands to our command prompt and run them. What you will notice here is right here, OBS, this is the QuickTime files. So if we want to do the Qt6 dependencies for the user interface, or if Qt6 is not available in your, your current version you're running, then you could use the Qt5 version. I forget where it was. I was reading it, but somewhere along the way, with the new modules, I think it was with version 28 of OBS is when they moved to the Qt6 as being the standard now, and have moved away from Qt5 on the plugins. So a lot of the plugins are utilizing Qt6 instead of Qt5 packages. So when we get here, we only really have to run this one for the Qt6 dependencies. We don't have to touch this one. And then we run the plugin dependencies. As I say, on Debian 11, this guy I could not find. And I wasn't able to complete the installation on Debian 11. I might readdress that again here soon, but I don't know. Then when we get down here, when we run the builds, as you can see, this top one is for Qt6. This bottom one is for Qt5, if you're going to build for Qt5. And then notice right here, this CEF root directory, OBS build dependencies, that is where we want this right here, this Chromium embedded framework. So when we download this package, or this zip, it's a zip file basically, we want to put it in our user source directory, in the directories that we're building everything. We want this up one, basically. So just outside of OBS Studio, or else your build is going to fail. Unless you decide you didn't want that as well. So, and that's a choice as well. If you decide you didn't want the Chromium embedded framework, you can omit these lines and change these lines as need be. I do know with the current setup of everything, if you're to turn on AJ or WebRTC, it's going to fail because you need to install a couple other little additional things for these ones to work. But Pipewire you can turn on by default. And then when we get down here, we can either build and install package, or so right here, so we get our builds ready here. And here's where we build the package. Yeah, right there. Or you can run just the cmake install command, not build a package, but install the program as it would have been installed anyway. I just like to make the packages. That way it's there. And if I want to use it somewhere else, I could. Or if I want to do a reinstall later, I could. I don't have to go through the whole build package again. If I save that in a location where, say, I just redid my desktop and I was going back to a Debian 12, I wouldn't have to go through all this again. I would just have to install from this package. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. What was the last thing Okay, we did the git clone. All right, so I made the two directories. Move it over here. I've got a little more access to it. Okay, first of all, let's get to the right window. We are going to the custom build right here. Okay, so we just basically copied this command. Boop, boop, here, same thing. Boom, boom. We're going to bring this guy back up. And we're going to go into our OBS RC1 directory, because if we just run these commands as they are, we are going to get the OBS 3.0 release candidate 1. And we're just going to go ahead and build that guy in this directory here. So if we go ahead and paste our git clone here. Oh. Don't I have git on here already? I should have git on here already. I might need to do the /sbin or did I need to put git on here? No, I don't have git on here, do I though? Okay. Apt. Go yes, install git. Oh, there we go. Now I should be able to run my... There, okay. So, yep, we had to install git. And it probably even did tell me that on that other page, didn't it? So we're going to let git run. And so, yes, that was just that git clone, pull down, recursively, whatever's in the base package, right from up front there. As I said, I thought I was going to get, the latest stable. No, you get the latest release candidate, which is the next version coming up. There could be bugs in it, but it's the most stable version of what's coming up. All right, so that one's done checking out right there. So yeah, see, it did tell us that you need to make sure we have CMake and Git and Ninja. Now, all except for Git. These are the prerequisites we're going to get down in a later location as well. So, as I say, we need to get this guy as well. It's just a good time to do that. So we have to kind of switch out of where we're at. Okay, let's go ahead and do that then. Let's go ahead and pull. We're going to get that guy. And now, so I'm in the OBS RC1 directory, and if I do an ls, you're going to see we have an OBS Studio directory. And that's where all this that we just did a clone of ended up. Now we want the CEF support files need to be in this directory right there next to our other guy. So there's OBS Studio. Let's go ahead and make directory and shift insert, and there's that OBS dependencies directory, right? Okay, so we just made that directory. We're going to change directories into OBS build. Here we go. There we go. Build it. So just go into this directory. We are going to go back here and we are going to copy this link right here. So if we look down at the bottom of the screen, you'll see a little link is popping up. So if we go ahead and copy link, come back over here, we're going to do a wget and a shift insert, and there's our package that we want in this directory here. So we're going to let wget do its thing. wget's a nice way of pulling down files from a command line. As you can see, I just typed wget and I put in the URL to the file, and now if I do an ls here, we can see we've got this nice little tar package here. And if we do a tar, what is it? Is it xfv that I want? If I do a Z, it's going to tell it to do, yeah, we don't want. All right, so here, and I think I can just do CE tab. Boom, there's the rest of it right there. The nice thing about Linux is you can start typing the name of something in your directory or the name of an application. Or a directory, just as you're starting to type in it. It's really smart. You hit tab, and if it knows where you're at and if what you're looking for, it's going to put it up there for you. Or if you hit it twice, it's going to give you a list of items that you want. So as you notice, I hit tab there, and boop, I was able to go right to the remainder of the name without typing it. So if I do a tar on this little guy here, what did I do? Oh, you know what? I think, yeah. Order matters here. There it goes. Yeah. Order matters there. Because that F was telling, was the switch for the file name. I'll go back there. So tar, the V tells it to be verbose, which means just to print out all that information that you saw zip by the screen. I forget what the X is, and the F is telling it that this is the file that we want to untar, which is what we just did. Okay, and now if we go back here, and if we do an ls, you'll see that basically in this directory now, if we do an ls and we do all files in a longer format here, you'll see that it created a directory, that CEF binary 5060 Linux 64 directory underneath the OBS builds directory. And if we alt tab back over here and get down here to that command, you can see that is that directory right there. OBS builds dependency CEF blah 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 blah, that command's looking for when we get down here. So those files are now in place for us. All right. Okay, so we need to get all of our dependencies taken care of here. I'm already root user, so I don't need to use the super user do command, the sudo command, but that's basically what that stands for. Do a command as the super user. I'm already super user. So we're going to go over here, and we are going to... The other thing I like to have here is a nice little -y, because then I don't have to answer yes later. that one's running. We're going to go copy this next one over, which is our core OBS dependencies. You can see there's a little bit in there. Boom, boom, boom to dev. And we are going to copy that. I guess I could have just hit the little copy thing at the end there too, but whatever. So this guy is still doing its thing, installing its dependencies. Whee! Yay, done. All right, so we're going to do our next one. Shift insert. I'm going to hit home, and I'm going to pop up here and put a little Y, and boom, let this one go. I'm going to Alt tab back over here. I'm going to grab our QuickTime stuff. Here, I'm just going to copy this one. Boom. And I'll just pop the sudo off the beginning as well. Okay, now we'll do a shift insert, and nope, that's not the right information there. Let's try, oh yeah, look at that. So because I clicked on that little copy thing, it did a different clipboard copy for me. And I had to do a right click paste instead of a shift insert. So let's go home. We're going to get rid of the sudo. We're going to add ourselves a little -y, and boom, let that one go. And we're going to zip back over here. Yeah, that was this one that we just ran, right? The QT6 stuff. We don't need that one, but we do want this one right here. Whee! Right here. Copy. And yes, that is all looking good. Home -y. Oh, you're kidding me. Oh, I know why it's missing too. I forgot one very important aspect. Oh, I forgot to tell you this in the beginning. Okay, I know why. That package right there, that libfdkac.dev is in the non-free packages on their repositories. So what we need to do is we need I'm going to use Nano. I normally use the Vi editor, but the Vi editor every now and then when you're remote over a terminal does some weird things. And you can't just arrow around. You have to like escape out and go back in and continue to edit. So we're going to go to the nano command, and we're going to go to etc. What is it? Is it here? Okay, if we double tap here on our oh well no, I didn't want 203 capabilities. Well, sure, let's show them. Boom. I think it's packages. Let's see. Where is it? What am I looking for? Oh, it's actually apt. So if I want to go to nano/ett/apt/ and then we've got a sources file in here. Okay, see, we've got that sources.list, right? So here we go. Let's do this actually. We're going to first, before we change it, we're going to copy that guy to to sources.list, and we're going to copy that to etc/apt/sources list dot. We're going to just make that gr8 because nothing else is going to be called gr8 at the end of it. So I know that's one of my backup files right there. So there, I just made a copy of it. So now I can go into nano /etc/apt/s tab sources.list. So that's the file I want to edit right there, sources.list. And if we go in here, we can see at the end of each one of these, we've got non-free firmware. So we show that our repositories, you know, for Bookworm and main and all this. So basically what we need to do is we need to go in here and put in non-free on each one of these lines. Non-free. Probably not on each one, but I do. I just go in here really quick. And I'm like, okay, I need these guys. So, boom. Oh, hello. Wrong key. Boom. Space. Non-free and on free. So yeah. Nope. Free and non-free. Okay. So let me check, make sure those are all those all look good. Boom. Okay, now we can hit Control X, hit Y for yes, save modified buffer. And right here we hit enter and it saves it to that file name. Now if we do an apt update, it's going to read the repositories and that non-free repository as well. So now if I come back and run that previous command, boom, this one that failed and told me that it couldn't find the one file, it will now complete without an error. And when I get to the second run through of the version 29.1.3, I won't get that error again because I've already put in the repository. So actually I meant to do that right after I got done installing the software and before I started the OBS stuff. I meant to put in there the non-free repository in the sources list as well. So I boomered on that one. Okay, boom, there. Those are all built. So now we've gone through and we've done all our dependencies. Now if we just copy this guy right here, boom, this top one, and I guess I could have just like put this here too. Copied. Now if I come over here and paste and say paste, but now I actually want pipe wire. So, oh geez, how am I going to get to you? Am I going to have to do it this way? Fine, I'll do it that way. We want this one on. I want pipe wire on. Because I'm using that in Linux. All right. As I said earlier, if you turn on the AJA or the WebRTC, you're going to get an error trying to build the project because it's looking for more dependencies when you turn these two on. When we run version 29 and we run this command, it's going to tell us that this one here is a invalid option, but it's not going to hurt anything. It's still going to compile. It's just going to say, that's not an option where you can choose at this time. So there, we are now got that turned on. We've got, yeah. So we'll go ahead and hit this. What? Error make. Oh, you know what? I'm in the wrong directory. I can't build it from here. Because I'm in the OBS builds dependency directory, and that's not where I want to be. I actually want to be CD. Here, let's list one directory up. So the one directory up from us, we actually want to be in the OBS Studio directory now. We're in the OBS builds dependency because the last thing we did over here was we untarred the files that belonged in that directory. So if we do a change directory, up one two dots there, a slash, so that's up one, and then we want to go to OBS-S, and if, oh, look at that, that's supposed to be an S-S, boom, Studio, there. Now we'll go into that directory. And if we list in here, we can see we've got the make command and all that kind of stuff in here. So now if we go back and hit this guy, which was the command that you saw kind of stepped out a little bit. This time, since we're repeating it, it's just tabbed instead of new line spaced kind of thing. So, but it'll run just fine. And there we go. We are now compiling. What? Oh, Qt version is not using this guy. Oh, okay. So, well, that's funny because that just changed recently. Because the last time I ran that, I did not get that on the Qt version. Interesting. That's okay. But yeah, as you see, as the project changes a little bit, yeah. 2 days ago when I ran this, I didn't get that, so that was kind of funny. Alrighty, let's go on down. But as you can see, the docs haven't been updated since they now apparently have taken out the Qt version option in the build command there. Okay, so let's build the project. So this is the command we want to run to actually build everything. Before we install it. So we will copy this. We'll just go ahead and leave the your build directory there. I mean, we could change that to anything else where it says your build directory. But that's fine. I'm going to leave that as it is right there. So when we come back over here, we'll go ahead and build this guy really quick. You can do it. Alrighty, come on. We're getting there. Come on, you can do it. Okay. Ah. Okay. Let's get back to the right screen. Boom, 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 boom. There we go. Okay. So we've built the project. And then right here is where you can either install, create and install the Debian packages, or you could go down here and run this cmake install, and then that yord build directory is where we just built everything. So basically it's going to take all the files out of there and do the installation from that directory without any type of Debian package or anything like that. So yeah, you could just right now hit this, run it, and it's going to be installed on your machine. Later, if you did another install and you went through this process, basically you'd just do the same thing. You would make the whole thing and then do another make install, getting your later version on an install. I'm going to go ahead and do it the package manager way, where you can actually create a package and have a .deb package on your machine, and then install from it as well. So we're going to run through that really quick. So right here, I'm going to copy the from number 5 here, the create Debian package. No, we don't want the extra stuff over there. Just right there. Boom. So we're going to go copy. This goes pretty quickly. Shift insert. Boom. And we're going to let it make the packages. And I say I like this way because then I'm going to have this in a separate drive stored off the machine, so that if anything happens, I could just actually go back and just pull that package and do an install if I say wanted to rebuild my machine or something, and I wanted to go back to that version that I last built. I'd have it here on the drive, or on a saved drive. Boom. Now, doing the package version of there is one other thing you do want to do, is right here where it's talking in number 6, holding back the PPA OBS package, or just the OBS packages at all. If you're using the package manager, which most people are using apt, or some program that's using apt in the background to manage their packages and their software on their machine, you would want to tell it right here to hold OBS Studio from the repository. So when you do an apt update, it's not looking at anything that's happening on that repository that that we've told it to look at for its packages. And then later, if we decide we wanted to unhold it, we would just run basically another apt command to undo it. So here we're going to run @mark, and I only really have to run this to one time for either one of these installs that I'm going to do on this guy here. So actually, we don't want that. We want this here. Boom. So now we're just going to hold back. OBS Studio is set on hold so that it won't try to pull it down from the repositories online. It's only going to use the version that we have locally on our machine here. And then right there, your basic apt install, and the version you want. So we're going to do that in a minute. So I'll show you that file really quick. So if we go back over here, we're in the OBS Studio directory here, and if we do an ls capital Y for your build directory, and we look in here, you will see you've got an OBS Studio 3.0.0.1 Linux.deb. So that is your Debian install package. But yeah, notice I ran that without any type of, asking it what version I'm going to get or anything. Right from the get-go, doing the installation, it pulled down version 30. And here, let's just go ahead and install it really quick. Apt yes install. Wait, which directory am I in? Okay. We're going to want to do your build directory. OBS Studio Linux.deb. Okay. So boom. If I do. Oh, that's right. I forgot about that guy. Basically, I can just do this. If I just pull that Y back out of here, blah, 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 and say yes here, it's just going to go ahead and install it. So basically, if you use a Y and you're already holding things, you got to put that other command in order to do your update. So there we go. So now if I switch back over to here, and I put in my password here, and now if I mouse over to multimedia, you see we've got OBS Studio, and if I click on that guy up here at the very top, you can see where it says OBS 30.0.0.RC1, and then whatever the release candidate information is right there. So you've got some extra build information. But basically, yeah, so this is telling us that we've got this release candidate version of the software. And yeah, I was kind of surprised the first time I built it. I was like, well, okay, I guess that does make sense that from the project, from the GitHub, you would get the latest thing that's going there. But I actually wanted the latest stable, so let's see. I don't know for streaming, for recording, so let's go ahead and set next on this guy. I'm just gonna go ahead, yeah. How did I get by this guy before? Forget how I got by this guy. Hello, Twitter. That's some. Here, let's do this. Oh, wrong keyboard. Wrong keyboard. Hey, sit there. Thank you. Now it'll let me do next. Oh. You can't see that very well, can you? Here, let me. Okay, well, that's the whole thing. Da, da, da. We'll go ahead and let this thing do its thing. Yeah, okay, whatever. Yeah, come on, whatever. Next. Come on. Come on, you can do it. All right, here we go. It's doing its thing. At least we only have to do this once. Next one we do, we won't have to do it. It'll remember it between versions, which is nice. Boom, there we go. Apply settings. Okay, there we are. We're into the OBS Studio, and as I say, right up here at the top, you can see we're on a release candidate on this guy. So, got our scenes, we got our sources. So here's our basic install. All right, we're going to go ahead and exit out of this guy again. Boom. And I'm going to switch back over to, oh, wrong mouse. Let's put this guy right here. All right, so there you saw we had that version. So if we want to get this other one, let's go to here. All right. So yeah, that was the last thing we just did was we just installed, but basically we didn't have 29 though. We had the other one. So let's zip back up here really quick. We're gonna go grab this again, this command. Well, here. I don't think I did this other stuff in there either, did I? All right, yeah, let's go do that really quick. We're gonna put this directory in where we need it really quick. Copy. Come back over here. And so we are going to go out of this directory. We want to go up 2 directories. And we want to go back into that other directory I created. OBS, was it 29? Boom, there it is. Okay, and we should have nothing in this directory. Yep, nothing. And if we do a make directory and a shift insert, we'll have this guy, and we're going to cd into that guy really quick, and we are going to wget that same guy here that we got before, our CEF framework, our Chromium embedded framework. We are going to copy our link. I'm going to come back over here. We're going to drop the link right there and pull that file down. Now we're going to, let's see, what was the name of that directory in there? CEF, okay. No, we don't, what we want to do is we want to untar that file right there. So we type tar, and yes, these are, it makes a difference. So we cannot have any of our variables after F. So like V and X need to be before F, because before F is defining, no, not that. Oh, let's get that up. We didn't want that. C, tab, there. Okay. The file name. And there. We're going to untar that file. Because that's our CEF dependencies. There we go. Now we're going to up one directory. So now we should just have that one, right? Yep. Okay, so back over to here. Now we're going to get our version 29 of this. So I double click here, this guy. Now, in order to get a particular build, when you pull down your files, we go to the beginning here, and if we put, I think we want it right after clone. So get clone. We want a -B for build. And then we want the build number. And we know that the latest build is 29.3. No, 0.1.3. Hello, 29.1.3. And if we want to verify, we can go back over here to our browser and go to here. And if we go to mast, well, that one doesn't tell us really. It's the one that's over to the side. Where are you right now? Not there, not there. Let's just go beginning. There we go, right here. Yes, 2913 is our latest. Okay, 2913. And here, boom. Okay, so now we're going to hit this. Now we're cloning the project as of that build. And then I can skip a bunch of these steps because we've already done them for the version 30. We already did all our dependencies and everything. So to put 29 on now, come on. So yeah, when we come back over to our instructions, our build instructions here, so we're doing our get clone, but we're pulling down our branch that we want with the -B and the branch number. We've already done each of these items. So really we're now down here to build the project. So we can go ahead and grab this guy and copy this. And often what I like to do is just grab myself a little text editor. And I can just pop it in here, over here, turn that on, Control-Alt, Control-C. And here we are. So we're now ready to build our project. So now, if we look here, we need to, and if we do an ls, we'll see that we need to go into the OBS directory. We're going to cd OBS -s, tab will complete it for us. There we are. And when we do an ls here, you can see we've got the make in here. And notice we don't have a your build directory in here because it creates it when we put this command in right there. So let's shift, insert. You can see we got the pipe wire on. We're going to say, yep, go ahead and paste that. Boom. And we're probably going to get that other little error pop up about the web enabled WebTC one now this time too. So, but that's not an error that's keeping it from build. It's just telling you, oh, you don't need to use that switch. It's not valid. So as you see here, see enable WebRTC. It's like, yeah, you didn't have to do that. We're not using that variable. But that's okay. Everything else built just fine. So there, we just built it. We can pop back over here. And we can do our CMake and build. So yeah. So that got all of our stuff. We set up the build there. Here's our build. Copy. Come back in here. Shift insert. And then it's going to go through and make the install file now. I'll go ahead and just grab this command really quick. So when we're back there, copy, we can just put it in. Oh, nice. My YouTube page crashed with my stream on it. Oh, well. All right, it's back up. That's okay. There's anything there. That's good. That's good. All right, we're still building over here. Hey, Dibby caught me live. Hey, Divinity. Thanks for popping in. I know it's not the most exciting subject in the world, but woohoo. There are those who will find it interesting or usable for a while. It's kind of a niche kind of stream, but that's okay. Alrighty. Where are we at? We are 422 of 508 in here. We had a little more things to build on the last one, the newer one. Oh, which one was that? Let's see. Should sneak me into the shot. Ooh, there we are. I meant to do that earlier. Okay, and there we are. We're at the end of that. We can get our next little part going, which is this, oh, nope, not that. How many tabs does one have to tab? Okay, here we go. Right there. There we are. This is one. We're going to create the package now. Yep. That's funny, Deb. All right, so we're almost done with this. So we're just building the actual version 29 now, and I will uninstall the release candidate and throw this one in as soon as this guy's done compiling. Because, yeah, we're not far from that now. Right here. Don't need to do any of that. We already did all that. Just gotta wait for it to build. Oh, okay, well, we're done. Good. And we're all generated there. So now if we go ahead and change directories into our your build directory, and we can list the files in here, we can see we've got the version 2913 in there. So if we do an apt search OBS-Studio, and we grep that command with installed, it should show us right there. So right there it shows us we have OBS Studio version 3.0.1 installed at the moment. And so now we say apt remove OBS Studio. So that'll remove the current one installed. Yes, continue. And basically, it's telling us that there was some information in the directories. So it did not remove those couple directories because OBS Studio had some stuff in there. Because we ran it. And so it added some information in there, which is good because as soon as I put in this other one, everything that I already answered is already going to be in the config for this guide. So that's nice. I like that. So yes, we now remove that one. So now if we do a apt, yes, install our current version that's in the directory where we are. So what we want there is we want to do a period slash, otherwise it's not going to find it for us. And we're going to do an OBS tab studio Linux, okay, .deb, because we need the little, let's spell that right, deb, there we go. So now this will put in, helps if I install apt, or spell apt right. There we go, apt, there we go, yeah. Okay, so we just are unpacking it. It's installed. If we switch back to our... No, not that guy. We want to go back to... Which one was that? Oh, that's right. It is scene... right there. This one. Back to this guy. Awesome. Now if we get back onto our desktop here. Get logged in there. Come up here and we click on our applications. And we get down to multimedia. We have OBS Studio right there. And we look up at the top, we've got OBS version 29.1.3. So we've now got the latest stable version, not the release candidate, installed. And notice I didn't have to go through that other stuff that popped up in the beginning when I first fired up the other version. So there we go. For all you people who are in Linux and are looking to get the latest OBS installed with the stable version, that kind of wraps it up there for you. So yeah, when you first go in and you run through these directions over here, let's get there. Yeah. It doesn't tell you you're getting a release candidate. I guess I should have assumed that because most things that I'm working on, your latest, yeah, you kind of have to switch to the build that's the stable build. But yeah, I wasn't thinking about it. And I'm sure anybody who's new who would go in and try to run this might be surprised as well that they're on a release candidate version instead of a stable version when going through and running these commands. As I said in the beginning, when you get into OBS Studio or to the OBS website and you look at the installation, yeah, you can use oh, here, right here. You can use Flatpaks. I don't suggest them. They are easy, they are easy to get in and installed. But when I ran OBS Studio in a flat pack, it was something I was having a hard time with. Just like with the other applications I was saying earlier, you lose cross functionality between applications with the flat packs. We're using FlatHub and the flat packs. They have a little tool that's supposed to allow you to give the permission to each, sandbox application to have access to the other apps on the machine. But I tell you what, I tried for days and I couldn't get it to work, and I gave up on Flatpaks and just went back to the regular apt install of software. And here I'm trying to show you something, and I'm not even on the correct window. Look at that. Again, boomer. Anyway, there we go. Yeah, right there. There was the other where you could download the flat pack from FlatHub. I just, as I said, I've run into issues with them, especially when you're trying to get it to work with something else on the machine. They sandbox the applications for security reasons, but I don't care for it. So this gives you a way to install using the build instructions, coming down here, and then running through and installing. Hope that helps. Thank you for joining me this evening. You have a great evening. And I've got something else coming up soon. Another Do It Live, or Doing It Live. I have a couple other projects. Got a heater to repair. So, no space heater. Actually, I got two of them to repair. So, I thought I might throw that out there. And then I've got some other neck gear, fan replacements, and some other fun things going on. And I plan on doing some more music streams. I've got one out there on Rumble right now, which was basically it was Van Halen's Fair Warning album. Stream was just some music to begin with. Then we played the album beginning to end, and then followed up just by some more random music to wrap things up. And I think I'm probably going to do Led Zeppelin next. I'm thinking of doing physical graffiti for the album. So, yeah. Thank you much. How about the outro scene? Do. Where did you go? Right there.